Good morning, everyone. It is July the 26th, 2017, and we're going to trade into another FOMC announcement day today, which dominates the trading until the Fed speaks. We'll start with a disclaimer. Hypothetical simulated performance results have certain limitations. Unlike an actual performance record, simulated results do not represent actual trading. Also, since the trades have not been executed, the results may have under or overcompensated for the impact of any of certain market factors, such as lack of liquidity. Simulated trading programs in general are also subject to the fact that they're designed with the benefit of hindsight. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profit or losses similar to those shown. So, FOMC today, 5-year auction. FOMC, no interest rate increase. They're not going to start the taper today, so current policy remains unchanged. Guidance is what they're looking for. And the market's playing for interest rate increase December. The taper, or the selling of assets out of the balance sheet, to begin in December also. And any deviance from that, raise interest rates sooner. Very hawkish language would take treasuries down. Start the taper earlier than December would take treasuries down. So, but this comes after our 5-year auction. Yesterday's 2-year auction was strong. 3.06 to 1, and it also had a takeout of 6 basis points. We haven't seen that in a long time. So we've had very strong auctions, especially on the short end of late, and it hasn't stopped the selling in treasuries. So very, very strong auction. If we're going to have a weak auction, it'll be the 5-year. And they usually move that paper by taking the price of bonds down and increasing the interest rate. We have new home sales today at 611. That's the news. And we have crude inventories at minus 3.3. The market's going to play for bigger than that. APIs drew 10.2 in crude. Gasoline built 1.9. There's the potential whipsaw. And distillates drew 100,000 barrels. So the market will probably be playing for a bigger draw than 3.3 million barrels. I see it as a trading range, 5-year auctions, so we'll try a little bit higher here. Everything is pointed up right now. 23.27, sell 1. 31.03, sell 2. On the buy side, 13 to 17, buy 1. 5 to 9, buy 2. And I think you can be a little more aggressive on the sell side than the buy side. Looking at the 30-year, first resistance 28 to the buck, 3 to 7, sell 1, 11 to 15, sell 2. On the buy side, 16 to 20, number 1, so 9 to 13, buy 1, 1 to 5, buy 2. Boy, it has been hotter than blazes right here. I woke up this morning still 82 degrees when I packed it in last night. About 9:30 it was 95 degrees. We're having that. We get that 2 sometimes 3 weeks where it just is hot like this. We get that wind out of the actually the Sonoran Desert in Mexico. All my tomatoes have big orange spots on them, the ones that are still alive that the Fusarium wilt has not killed. Not been a good year for tomatoes. Actually, the last 4 or 5 years have been pretty tough on my tomato growing skills. Okay, gold, right here's the split on the market. You can see in this 43 area. London's low is 43.60, so our first buy is 43.45. Then 38 to 40. Let them get stops below 40 for buy 2. On the sell side, 48 to 50, sell 1. 53.55, sell 2. I'm still on painkillers, so they wanted me to stay on until I went into rehab this afternoon and take a look at it. So I can't tell that they've done much except change my sleeping patterns, Chuck. Quite a bit. They really are pretty stingy with the dosages these days. They don't get out and do it. But I imagine I'll be off painkillers this afternoon. Okay, the euro, 16.75 is where we are right now. So it's a P put in backwards. So 90 to 117 even, sell 1. 117.15, 117.25, sell 2. Leaving interest rates unchanged by the Fed would keep us in the current trading range. Even though Draghi's trying to talk us down, I'd say 50 to 60 by 1. And the breakout was from 20. Really, the breakout was from 116.05. The low volume number is 41 right here, and you can see how that low volume number held the market as support. So we'll come in just above that, maybe stops below 150, and then we'll make 16.25 by 2. But there's a lot of profilers in Europe. I was looking at the Bund, and it does a tremendous amount of volume. I mean, you just must have to put on unbelievable size because it just does not move all that much. I wouldn't see why anybody would want to trade the Bund, but it does 1 million contracts a day, so somebody's interested in it. Trying to get Rodolfo happy. A most demanding new member. And then the DAX, I was looking at the DAX, it only does about 100,000 contracts today, and it didn't, you'd think, and I think the Stokes does close to 1 million, but I guess there's more volatility in the DAX from what I can tell, what little I can tell. Okay, I think the market's going to play for a draw greater than 3.3 but less than 10.2, so it'll give us an up bias. When you see a run like this, this usually wrings most of the excess out of the market. You get to a level where others will sell it. What was that level? 48.50. So 48.50 to 75. Sell 1. 49 even. 49 and a quarter. Sell 2. On the buy side, 48 even. 48 and a quarter. Buy 1. And then 47.50. 47.75. Buy 2. 10.2 is the draw on the APIs. Gasoline built. They're looking for minus 3.3. And I believe that number, the market will play for a number higher than that. So I think it's probably going to be easier to trade higher than it is to trade lower early in the session. And we'll find out where resistance is. So like the long side, can sell failure though to take out and hold 48.75, 49 even. First little band of resistance is 48.50. I think we can probably get through that. 49 would be a good spot. Now, Saudi Arabia has taken 900,000 barrels a day off for maintenance, they say. There's a lot of talk out there is that corrosion, they're losing the field, they don't know what to do. The production from their biggest field is in decline, not to be brought back. You never know. But Saudi Arabia is taking 900,000 barrels off. I do believe, like it or not, Venezuela is going to be the swing producer. And nobody will go in and treat their wells. Nobody's going to give them any help. And of course, they've run off the best and the brightest. So you're left with sycophants and those that are stealing off the Chavez Maduro power infrastructure, that are members of that. It's all that talk, all that rhetoric is to get into power, and we see it just time and time again. Envy is how they attack the status quo and how they get into power. Okay, 78 to 80 is resistance. Self-failure to take that out and hold it. Market's trying to trade up. The tendency is to trade up into the FOMC announcement. 84, 86 would be sell 2. On the buy side, 73, 75. It is expensive. And then 69, 71, buy 2. They just we never get into this contract cheaply on the opening when the bias is to the upside. Or rarely, would probably be a little more accurate. We just have to pay up to get in. So usually it's a pretty quiet day with an up bias, not a lot of volatility. I would expect that would be what we face today. It's going to take a bit to get stuff up and done. I'll get busy with that and be back with you as soon as possible. We'll see Pat's numbers here in 15-20 minutes.